Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another match of the 1K World Cup presented by Joke. Back again with yet another match on this very Sunday. We're going to be venturing forth it with the round of 20, going to be going through our final few matches. So for this one, we've got United Kingdom going up against Mixedonesia, going to be Seed 2 versus Seed 11. Yep. So yeah, both these teams on the higher end of the bracket from qualifiers. They're basically going to be fighting each other to see who's going to be going on which end of the bracket in round of 16 from next week onwards. So interesting to see a bunch of recognizable names that I can see on there already. But before we get onto that, as usual, I'm your host, Epic Man 2, and joining alongside me in the commentary booth, none other than Era Sunny. How has your day been?
Hello, Epic Man. I just woke up and it is time for me to get working on this 9 to 5, aka commentating. And I mean, what a way to start off this Sunday, at least for us Easterners who are just waking up. We're seeing the absolute gauntlet that is the United Kingdom, that I believe was the same roster from last year, but this time including Sparks on tagging along. And we're seeing some recognizable names already on there. Zubin, the champion of Sparks' 2K event. Teasel, who needs no explanation, has been around for quite a while. And alongside Mini Egg, pretty much that core three United Kingdom players that I believe played in last year's edition of 1K World Cup. This time with the addition of Sparks, which is going to be a bit interesting to see how that will play out. And then, of course, Mixedonesia. Most of the players I'm not really familiar with, but I would believe they're probably not going to go without a fight here.
Yeah, although no, Mixedonesia is basically a team that has like a few names that are like sort of like more known in the contemporary scene when it comes to Mania players. So like obviously I recognize people from the likes of Glitchy, Ray, and Aikio Fuka, who are basically all like quite prominent in the tournament scene as I have seen recently. But from what it looks like, both of these teams are going to be rolling out early on, and so far I think it seems that Mixedonesia has won the roll, so they're going to be going straight on for the first pick, and it's going to be none other than the title track Origami Angel. Quite an interesting pick to see, like, right off the bat, considering it's, like, kind of stream focused, so, like, knowing the United Kingdom, they're basically, like, they're basically a team that's, like, very, very, like, prominent when it comes to more technical sort of maps in general, so, like, seeing both these teams, like, face off against each other on this pick to start off with is going to be quite enticing to see how both these teams are going to be testing the waters here.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting pick to go off of right off the bat. And of course, not surprising, we're seeing Zubin in for this pick, as they have been an absolute rice god on the side of the United Kingdom. Pretty much any form of rice you throw at them, they will apply the double time mod with. And I would not be surprised if that was the exact same case when they were playing offline, practicing the pool, probably just doing the old funny and throwing on the double time mod, as that was a past experience I think we saw in Sparks' 2K event, which was really funny. And then Mini Egg going to round out that roster for the United Kingdom, which makes all sorts of sense. Mini Egg is a pretty good, well-rounded player, so wouldn't be surprised if they stay in for the majority of these picks. And then for Mixedonesia, having Glitchy and Akio Fuka, or Akikio Fuka, I've not seen these players play, so this is going to be something new for me. And yep, we're seeing it in the chat. Zubin choking on water flowing DT. Jeez.
Oh. Weird flex, but okay. But despite that, both teams are already ready to roll, and we're going to be seeing the title track underway. Going to be seeing Mini Egg and Zubin contest against Glitchy and Aikio Fuka to start off with.
Yeah, and I mean, this map only about less than 2.5 minutes long, so you don't really have much of room for error. And I would assume just the sheer consistency that these players would need And Glitchy opening up this chart with a break, that's not what you want to see
Oh.
going into this map, especially seeing how it's very consistent with its charting. It's mainly just these triplets with some streams mixed in, and that's going to give the United Kingdom a 36,000 point lead to open up this map.
Yeah, quite a strong start from the United Kingdom to see going into this match already, seeing as Minieg and Zubin both have very high accuracies to start off with so far. No one else is missing except from Glitchy on the side of Mixedonesia, while Aikyo is basically pulling the best they can for the start here, not having taken a single drop yet. But their accuracy is just under the 99.90% accuracy mark, which is definitely going to put a bit of a detriment in their score, as the score lead still continuously increases for the side of the United Kingdom, getting into this section with like quite a bunch of like blast beats, as you can see that really just a mod for you to put focus into alternating on these streams here.
Yeah, this stream section not being the kindest to Glitchy, as they've dropped quite a hefty amount of percentages. They're all the way down in that 91 range. But Zubin finds a break, and that was a nasty one as well. But that was Bancho, actually. So Bancho troll. But Glitchy's starting to recover that accuracy. They're in the 92 range now. Aikyo did also find a couple of bad accuracy drops on that section. They're down in the 99.6 range. Minieg and Zubin still holding on to their 99.9s. That is a bit frightening, as they're nearing the final, roughly like the final eighth of this map. I feel like this is pretty much a clear-cut way for pretty much a clear-cut victory for the UK for this chart. As just as long as they keep up this consistency and nothing bad happens, they should be able to close this out.
As we can see, United Kingdom basically doing very, very well on this pick to start off with. And this was also Mixedonesia's pick as well. So, like, with both these teams, with United Kingdom being such a stronghold of a force to, like, really reckon with, it really just shows that, like, when the minute you basically, like, mess up, there is basically, like, sort of a lack of options that you have other than to simply like try your hardest. And look at those ratios from the United Kingdom as well. Like Minieg and Zubin only getting double digits in terms of perfects. And that, I think if I do the math here, that's going to equate to only 66 perfects from their side. And that is something to really like take into consideration when it comes to like simple picks such as this in particular.
Yeah, and also just to talk about the group score that the United Kingdom got, 1,995,000. What?
Yeah,
that is
what?
5,000 points away from a perfect 2 million score.
It really is. Like, just knowing the United Kingdom and how it's basically one of those countries that has like a plethora of like flexible players when it comes to various things. Like, you've got like a lot of strong players on the 4K side of the demographic, but then on the 1K or 2K side, or especially like the tackle side of things, it's like really like something to really like sort of think about. Like, just the fact that there is so much players in that sort of field that are just like insane in general. But obviously Indonesia's scene is nothing to scoff at either. Such a massive scene as well in the Mania community overall, and just in general, like they have such insane players, and we can definitely see quite a spark of it in this tournament as well, just when it comes to these 1K maps as well. But United Kingdom's basically expected to pick something next, just riding off the first victory to set the tone.
Probably gonna stick to their guns. Probably gonna go for another classic rice-based map. Most likely half Ghost would make the most sense. Classic 5. As we did see, they're probably gonna want to try to capitalize the physicality range of Mixedonesia. As what I did notice as well is that Aikyo Fuka, even though despite they got that couple 200s there, they actually out-ratioed Minieg. So they really are careful when it comes to their accuracy, because at any point Mixedonesia can bite back, and they did on Classic 1, but they just couldn't seal the deal as we did see that Glitchy was also sight reading, as they said in chat a bit earlier. And they're actually going to go for a Classic 4. Palm Shot. A bit interesting. Going to dive into the hybrids, pretty much. I mean, entirely not bad, but a bit interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see why the UK would be at least expecting to be at least confident when it comes to this kind of pick, because of the fact that Palm Show is like one of those maps that's like very, very reliant on like alternation or just alternating in general. Like, this is like a sort of jump up D&B song, like basically a relatively like obscure one as well from the looks of it. I haven't heard this song in like maybe 5 years or something after Rusike was like featured on this platform, but like just the fact that like this song just has like quite a bunch of like intensity in it, like just the fact that playing it, you can see there like there's a bunch of like rhythms that just sort of like switch up while it's still at only 180 per BPM. So kind of interested to see how both these teams are going to be facing up. We can see some switch outs happening here. Teasel going to be subbing in for Zubin on this one, and Glitchy going to be subbing out for someone else on the side of Mixedonesia.
Yeah, Teasel going to sub in from Zubin for this pick. Makes sense, honestly. I don't know how comfortable Zubin is on long note related charts, so probably Teasel going to join in. And we're going to see Rayhan for the side of Mixedonesia, so we're going to see a bit of a roster change. Ikea Fuka and Miniegg will stay in for their respective teams. And honestly, it makes sense, because like I touched upon earlier, Miniegg is one of the better players when it comes to well-roundedness. So they can play long notes if they need to, play rice, pretty much adapt to anything when it comes to switching things up. And core reason as to why they went far, and I believe it was Sparks' 2-key tournament actually. I can't recall if they made the podium or they just missed out. I can't recall. I think they made the podium.
Yeah, they made it like top 6 or something like that. I wasn't like there for the previous iteration, so I don't really know off the top of my head. But despite that, we're gonna be going right into Palm Shot to really continue the stream of maps that we're going to be witnessing here. So, are we going to witness yet another murder from the United Kingdom, or are we going to see Mixedonesia pull something out of their sleeve? Mixedonesia having a roster change, that could definitely like put up quite the question for the United Kingdom as well. Noted that they are both in the higher end of the seeding, as we know, and so far the score line is actually really, really close to each other. The United Kingdom only with like a score lead just ahead by 2,000 points, but this could definitely change at any point while this course just slowly like approaches where I think that is going to be where the shift happens for either of these teams, really.
Yeah, this is a bit of a better start for Mixedonesia, as here comes the chorus now. Ooh, Rayhan finds a couple of action drops and a break to top it off, while Miniegg and Teasel have basically just been synchronizing their accuracies. Ikea Fuka not too far behind from Miniegg or Teasel. They're about a couple percentages, or a couple tenths of a percentage behind, while Rayhan finds another break. They're going to drop their accuracy down to the 96 range, and with only a third of the map left to go, you don't really have much time left. You're obviously something major coming out of the United Kingdom, but looking at how consistent they are with this chart, not really much left you can really do. But I mean, it's still entirely possible, as Rayhan is starting to make a valiant comeback with their accuracy in the 97 range. I don't know if they'll be able to have enough time to hit 20 or 98, but who knows?
Yeah, just knowing how the direction of this one went, I kind of doubt that there is enough time for this score lead to go back onto the side of Mixedonesia unless something drastic happens. But even then, there really is not enough time for it, as this is literally just going through the final notes, and with that, United Kingdom wins a second breakpoint off of that alone, going to be seeing yet another star with twin sorts of score line from both Miniegg and Teasel here. That's really going to like shift and set the tone for what they are capable of here.
Yeah, capitalizing off of their break point, off of that first pick, gonna up that lead 2-0. And wow, double V1 double S from both Minieg and Teasel. And Ikea Fuka also with the V1 double S, just the ratio not being on par with Minieg and Teasel's. While Rayhan, not too shabby of a score, almost hitting that 900k barrier. Just a couple of misses. I mean, it makes sense. This map is fairly tricky to get the hang of. But with that, it is Mixedonesia's pick. Maybe something a bit more tame, which would make me think Classic 2 would be a pretty tame pick. Water flowing also, no, I don't think water flowing is a tame pick.
I mean, water flowing is kind of like a funny one. Like, it's just the fact that it's like really kind of heavy when it comes to alternating as well. Just the fact that you have a lot of these streams, but like you just have to really be incredibly precise when it comes to at least changing, or at least like matching the rhythm changes in this one alone. So this one may be a bit harder than what we've seen from Title Track and Palm Shot from earlier. I have a feeling that it might be safer to go for something else that's that is perhaps maybe not as technical, really. Like maybe something like, I mean, to be fair, there's like a lot of technical maps on this thing as well, so maybe Obelisk could be like a decent option, but at the same time, I'm not sure how Mixedonesia would match up on it against the likes of United Kingdom or any of the other maps for that matter, unless something happens.
Obelisk gonna be a bit of a risky pick in my opinion, as that's one of the harder charts in this pool, especially with the OD of 8. Yeah. But who knows? I mean, this is Mixedonesia's pick. They're really gonna have to try to really strategize for this one, because if the UK takes another breakpoint, that will be pretty dangerous. And they're gonna go for Classic 3. So Senorita Bonita, I mean, it's not too dense, not that bad of a pick. It's fairly short, so anything detrimental to any side is like, even in the first 3 seconds of the map, can be the result. As you see, it's only a minute and a half. Mostly the LNs aren't too shabby in this. It's just the other parts that are trying to balance out those, I believe triplets, or just transitioning out of those LN sections are the harder or like just like the harder parts of this map.
Yeah, Senorita Bonita is like one of those maps where you've got like a lot of these patterns like basically on the board, but it's really just about like transitioning out of each pattern, so just try and act the next one that comes right after, as if you're being like served in like those kinds of like things in restaurants where you basically have like plates of dishes and you basically just like have to take like whichever one you want basically, and you get like one after the other, and it keeps going on for as long as it takes, really. This is basically what this map feels like, and the fact that it's only clocking in at like a minute and 30 seconds, this is the shortest map in the map pool, and just the fact that it is a hybrid map as well, it can definitely lead for like, it can definitely leave open a lot of opportunities. But in my opinion, Mixedonesia probably has to be quite careful in this one as well. Like, just knowing how the previous performances went, we've seen basically both Glitchy and Rayan like just end up falling off when it came to certain patterns. So they're really gonna have to like try and keep the team consistency intact, as we can also notice Zubin coming in, but Aikio taking the first miss.
Big! Oh! And everybody missing there except for Zubin, as Zubin is the only one holding the fort down for the United Kingdom after that break from Minieg. And I mean, Rayhan and Aikio are making a pretty solid recovery, but it's just only a 30,000 point difference. You're gonna have to see another break from the side of the United Kingdom, but even then, that won't do much. But I mean, once this accuracy starts climbing up, it should. Oh, but that's not gonna help them at all. Aikio finding another break, and Rayhan as well. And especially with these timing switch ups, as I'm pretty sure it's swapped to either 1-4 or 1-3 there. That tripped up their accuracy just a slight bit. And now Zubin and Minieg have a pretty comfortable lead now on the side of the United Kingdom, and there's not much map left to go. And it's just really this outro that's all that's left, and safe to say that the United Kingdom will be securing their second breakpoint for this match, and I'm just scared to see how Zubin did on this.
Oh no. Just seeing how things went in the match.
26! Oh my god.
Wait. Everyone got double-digit perfects, but Zubin and Miniag actually got the same amount of perfects, bar to 2 misses. Yeah, look! Oh my god! Wait. Miniag only got 2 misses, but Miniag and Zubin got the same exact ratio. Oh my god!
Actual, like, I think we need like someone to go over there and like investigate, make sure they're human. What's next? You're gonna tell me their unstable rate was the same?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
But anyway, it is the United Kingdom's turn to pick, and this is a pretty important one for them, as they have the opportunity to bring things to a match point situation against Mixedonesia.
Yeah, Mixedonesia not really in a good position right now. They've yet to still win a single point in this match alone, but United Kingdom has already accumulated like just 3-0 of points, and they're only really 2 points away from winning, so Mixedonesia is gonna really have to try and like at least win some points from here on to be able to prevent the match point situation. If they want to be able to at least like make it like, I mean, either way, both these teams are going to be making it into the round of 16 bracket. It's really just like, I think it's really just like whoever wins and whoever loses is just going to end in the opposite side of whichever bracket here. So United Kingdom, basically the next in line to pick. They're going to be, I assume they would probably pick another map that is in their favor, probably using another one of the classic maps here. Either Half Ghost or something else like Icicles, for example, would kind of be interesting. But at the same time, like, I feel like they shouldn't get too comfortable in their shoes here because of the fact that Mixedonesia can potentially, like, bring something into the fray here that is going to put the United Kingdom at a disadvantage if their plan does not go in their expectation. and as I say, that Zubin does comment that we're on point with our with predicting their picks, and they're gonna be picking Half Ghost. Oh my god.
My, I mean, probably like I said, this is probably a pick that I wouldn't be surprised seeing from the United Kingdom. It's just that they're probably Miniag does not want any association with this map.
Oh no!
I'm out 1.3 seconds. Gone. And Teasel gonna swap in with Miniag here, and we're gonna see the return of Rayhan. I believe were they in? Yeah. Wait. I have no idea.
They were in the previous map.
Okay, so never mind. I'm just waffling. I'm just cheesing.
So am I. So that's just how it works, you know. Sometimes you just gotta waffle to be able to like move on in life, and or at least just go forward with life in general. Like, that's just literally the meta nowadays. But despite that, United Kingdom picking out Half Ghost, riding the wave that they've basically just caused so far. I guess like from what it looks like, all the teams are going to be starting with this pick right away. United Kingdom, will the United Kingdom continue this streak of points that they've accumulated, that they have been winning so far, or are we going to see Mixedonesia win something going into this match? I am not sure, but so far going into this beginning stream, it seems like the score is flickering so far. No one taking such a drastic mistake so far. Teasel basically taking some misjudgment of Rayhan matches that and takes it to a bit of a more extreme, as Rayhan does take some misjudgment leading into that miss.
Finding the first break of this map is Rayhan, and finding another one, they're almost losing their S rank. That is not a great start, and I mean, Teasel and Zubin just absolutely dominating this chart. Noko actually finding a break as well. Now, no FCs on the side of Mixedonesia. It's just the United Kingdom with their FCs still. And wow, they are putting up one hell of an effort in this map. As already approaching the halfway mark.
Yeah, going into the halfway mark of the map, it seems like so far United Kingdom is still going strong, despite whatever the map is throwing at them with these really dense and fast patterns at 250 BPM. They are not phased by it by a single amount. Zubin having the highest accuracy in the lobby by far, 99.95% accuracy, and Mixedonesia not being able to match any of the scores on United Kingdom by far. Nucker taking yet another drop here, and this is only into the final quarter of the map. Are we going to see another change? Judging by the score difference, I don't think it is very likely to counter it. But with that with those chain of misses from Mixedonesia, I kind of think it is over. I don't think there is enough time for the matters to change here as this map closes out.
Yeah,
shortly.
As the United Kingdom has brought things to a match point situation. 998 from Zubin, 1991 score for the United Kingdom, and oh my god, 2v1 double S's. Stop it! You're not supposed to be doing this.
I mean, they are in C2 in the tournament after all, but holy damn.
No!
Oh no. Mixedonesia still has a shot. Trust me, guys. But anyways, with that...
Do not put the brooms away just yet, as Mixedonesia has one pick, or at least one pick to go, and they need to win it.
Indeed. United Kingdom making a strong effort throughout this match so far. 4-0 into this round of 20 match. One of the last few matches that we have in line. Mixedonesia going to be taking the final pick, while United Kingdom has basically already made it to a match point situation. So Mixedonesia gonna really have to be very, very careful with whatever they're going to be picking next. There's only really one classic map next left in the pool, and that is none other than Zekai no Julia. And I think it would be very risky to go into that as well, considering how similar it is to the likes of Title Track and Half Ghost, and arguably Water Flowing for that matter. So I have a feeling I would probably try and aim for like a different map that is in the pool. So either something like Icicles or Beyond Decision. Beyond the Decision are the joke original, but at the same time, like, there really isn't too many options on the board. Mixedonesia's just gonna have to at least try and win everything from here on if they want to be able to at least win off this match alone to force a tiebreaker. But I don't know what is the likelihood of that happening here.
Yeah, still waiting on a pick. I mean, it is very tough to pick as you just have so many options, and I don't feel like Zenkai no Juliet would be a good pick after, just seeing how the United Kingdom has been performing. Obelisk or Icicles would seem very interesting, the old pick and the fan pick. Mainly just because of the high OD count, but also just how tricky they are. Water Flowing I can also see as an option. I don't know about Beyond the Decision, but just gonna have to see. Maybe the roll command would have to come out here. Potentially,
yeah. I mean, Icicles is fair. It's still relatively technical, but it's just the fact that it's technical on a more like abstract scale. For basically, like, just the fact that if you compare it to a lot of the technical maps that you already have on deck on this map pool alone, you would see that in comparison it is essentially like just a lot more complicated in general. But just leaving off the fact that it is a jazz song after all, like, this is like one of those like songs that's like just a lot more uncommon when it comes to tournaments from what I've seen, or at least like when it comes to tournaments where it's sort of like mainly licensed or featured artist music in general. Like, this is like kind of one of those more left field songs to go with. So like, At this point, Mixedonesia could potentially pick anything, but they're going to be going classic Tuzek.
Oh, so it's all classic for these first 5 picks. Assuming if the United Kingdom takes another break point here, but they're going to be exhausting every single classic pick in this map pool. Bit interesting to see this map.
I am worried for Mixedonesia. I mean, usually I tend to like just go into like each pick with like an open mind just to see like how things go, but like I'm not sure about this pick in specific, like just based off of like what we have seen from the United Kingdom, like on these classic picks as well, just in general. Like, I still believe that there's like at least some glimmer of hope for Mixedonesia, but this is just a very risky pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah. On top of the fact that this is like one of the longest like regular maps in the whole map pool, clocked it at nearly 3.5 minutes. It is essentially title track, but on steroids. And that is something that you don't really want if you are put on a disadvantage by that map as well, you know? Like, oh dear.
But here we go, underway with Zakai no Juliet. Classic 2. All the classic picks have been. And Noko gonna open up this map with a Bancho drop. But their accuracy relatively low. Same with Aikyo. Maybe they just found a plethora of 300s or maybe even a couple 200s. But either way, that's going to give just the slightest bit of lead on the side of the United Kingdom. Nothing really too much, as this map is almost 3.5 minutes long. So lots of room for error on the side of the United Kingdom to kind of swing that lead back in Mixedonesia's favor. But I'm going to have to see if they're willing to really do that. As we're heading into the first drop of the map, Noko and Aikyo making a very good recovery in their accuracy, but Zubin and Teasel 99.92 and 99.93 respectively. My god.
Yeah, Zubin's accuracy has been otherworldly throughout this entire match so far, but at the same time, knowing how this map is like the longest in the pool, like I have mentioned previously, I do believe that there is like more of a stronger chance for Strain to really like kind of knacker on each of these players than each of the previous maps from earlier on. Like I think Teasel, it's either that Teasel and Zubin could probably find some sort of like drop along the way, just even with like how the consistency has been so immaculate throughout the whole thing. But Noko and Aikyo Fuka has been proving that they are able to hang on. Their accuracy is now back around 99.70% mark. I think if we see some drops from the United Kingdom, then they should be able to be put back into the equation here.
You know, they missed earlier in the map. I'm just realizing that the combos aren't adding up. Noko and Aikyo missed at like the exact same note earlier in this map, as they're trailing behind by roughly 20 combo or so from the United Kingdom's combo. So they're gonna have to see both players on the side of the United Kingdom miss if they want to have this lead kind of add up. But just seeing how consistent they are, I don't know, it's gonna take a lot. But I mean, here we go. Final quarter of the map to go. Anything can happen still. 17,000 point difference. Not the biggest lead we have seen. Probably the smallest, actually, between these two teams, especially this late into the map. And, I mean, it's starting to close in just a tad bit. Not by much, but I mean, just as Mixedonesia starts climbing up that accuracy, that score lead starts shrinking down to 16,000. But we're going to have to see something from the United Kingdom soon. But I don't think it's going to happen. The map is going to start closing out. And I think, yeah, if the United Kingdom keeps this consistency, they will be taking this match. But there is still time. Do not count Mixedonesia out until the playfield has disappeared. But yeah, that will conclude the map, and the United Kingdom will be clean sweeping Mixedonesia. And it was a slider break that they were caught on. Oh my goodness.
No. Despite Mixedonesia's efforts and their strongest pulls in trying to at least maintain team consistency as well as scoring high, even with those immaculate races we could see on the side of Mixedonesia, at the end of the day, it's going to be the United Kingdom making it out of the round of 20 with a clean sweep of 5-0, making it into the round of 16 weekend next week. And Mixedonesia also going to be making it into the round of 16 weekend as well, but I believe they're going to be on opposite sides of the bracket. So I am not sure where exactly both these teams are going to be placing here, but I think the United Kingdom, whereabouts would they even place?
They're seed 2, so they would play against, I believe, seed 15. If my seeding calculations are correct, which I think it's either Norway or one of the random states teams. I could be wrong, however, but yeah, we'll see later.
Yeah,
both teams are. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh no, you can go ahead. Sorry.
But either way, like you mentioned, both these teams will be in the round of 16 no matter what. This is kind of just a seeding match to see if, basically determining seeding. They will be keeping their seeding. So with that, there are only 3 more matches left to go up this weekend. And in about 20 minutes from now, we will have Random States B versus Taiwan. So don't go anywhere, as we'll be back at 14 UTC, roughly 22 minutes from now, for that match. So for now, Epic Man, do you have anything else to close out the stream with?
Not really. I'm happy with how things went, and I do wish every other team remaining the best of luck going into this tourney. This is going to be a hell of a ride, and I'm all here for it, you know? So yeah.
Alright, and with that, we will see you all later. Goodbye, everybody. Take it easy.
Peace.